cost of living is getting higher, and I feel like real estate is your kind of like inflation proof, is your giant piggy bank. And doesn't matter who you are, how much money you make. Look at me, I'm telling you right now, you cannot make money like that forever. I'm going to say it again. You cannot be young, healthy, and make that kind of money forever. So while you can, put it in the piggy bank, and that piggy bank is your house.
I think if you're waiting, you can already see that continue to wait. It's never been a good time. The only good time is when you actually did buy, and then you're the one that held the property. You know, every client I talk to that's bought, like, Vin, I'm so glad I bought at that time. But at that time, they were like, oh no, they were crying. They were like, no, I don't want to buy, you know, or I'm scared. And now look at you. Welcome back to a new episode of the Cash Flow Bro, guys. I'm Vin, and this is my buddy Evan Huynh. And if you're new to the Cash Flow Bros podcast, we're a real estate podcast talking about business, real estate goals, cash flow, investments. So you come to the right place if you're looking for financial freedom through real estate.
So what's up? This is a Valentine's Day special. So thank you.
Yeah, you doing anything special?
No, spending time with you, bro. This is it.
That's exactly good. Yeah,
The only thing we're missing is some flowers.
Exactly. Yeah, and flowers and some dinner. This is my first Valentine's date in a long time, so glad to spend it with you.
All right, man.
But
no,
yeah, a lot of things happen.
Girlfriend in Germany, but you know.
Yeah. Well, she's gonna be coming in March, so hopefully we'll spend it then, and you guys can finally meet her. Maybe I can convince her to pop on the show real quick.
All right, but I gotta take you guys out for a day's spa treatment or something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But man, a lot has happened recently. We just had the Super Bowl, so we can't not talk about the Super Bowl being from the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, man, I lost my Super Bowl, my voice to the Super Bowl and my ego. So you know, it's a tough loss. It's one of the best Super Bowl games that I've ever watched. I mean, you know, our team gave it all. And you know, it still hurt, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, man, it was just good football.
I think so too, man. I couldn't stop like relating it to real estate because I was like, man, you know, you try so hard and you just have to keep trying, right? Well, that and what was I thinking with the Super Bowl? Oh, I was thinking, man, the second half was where we were like not keeping the lead. We were losing it, and we weren't running the ball. We weren't running the ball to McCaffrey. We kept passing it like on third and short. And I was like, dude, see, this is what realtors do. We start getting all these lofty goals and want to do this, do that, but really you got to keep it on the ground, keep it on the common, you know, like the foundation stuff. So I was trying to think of ideas for our podcast. That's why. But yeah, you were rooting for the Niners. It seems like, right? Of course you were.
Yeah, always been Niners ever since I started watching football, and I can't say I'm a like forever faithful Niner. I don't have a lot of time to watch football, so I missed a lot of game. And I know that some people argue that, hey, if you're a die-hearted fan, you gotta buy every single gear out there. You gotta watch every single game and know the staff, know every single player's name, birthday, and their girlfriends. I'm like, man, see, I know football. I love football, and you know, for me, watching the game and for the home team and rooting for the home team and when they lost, it hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts. Yeah. So, you know, does that make me a bigger fan? So I don't know. You guys tell me in the comment down below.
I agree with you, man. I remember a funny story. I was watching the game when I was younger, like at the Niners, and I was so pissed over like something very little. And I remember my mom coming into the room and was like, "Why are you so mad? Like, do they pay you?" And ever since that day, I was like, I'm a fan, but what does it really mean to be a fan? Because are you really getting anything from this organization? You got dividends? You got stock options from here or something, or what?
It's funny because I would argue with my brother-in-law all the time, and every time I watch the game with him, he will call me a bandwagoner. I'm like, well, wait a minute, why are we comparing who's a bigger fan here?
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that you know every single player names and you know their girlfriend and their birthday, and when they celebrate their birthdays. It just doesn't make you a bigger fan. And
yeah.
At the end of the day, I think we are rooting for our team. But anyway, enough of that topics. I feel like Super Bowl is one of those that when the team makes it to the Super Bowl, you got a mad respect for them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Especially a young quarterback coming, from the underdog, winning, beating every single number one seed quarterback out there, and providing a statement. And he's still super young, man. So
yeah,
still
totally.
a lot of game ahead of him. So I can't wait for this team. Now we benchmark. Now people know what the 49ers is all about, what we can do. So very
Yeah,
proud of being in Silicon Valley and have the team here at Santa Clara, and really, really proud for our 49er team.
I'm proud of them too, man. But it's every time we get better at sports with another team, everything just gets more expensive around here. So, but I mean, I brought it up because I was wondering if you saw any interesting or cool commercials that were memorable for you.
Oh man, I was watching on Sky Sports, so we were missing a lot of channels. For some reason, my CPS streaming was just very lagging, so I couldn't get my CPS
So
outright.
everybody probably watching at the same time. That's why.
Yeah, so but a lot of good commercials. I feel like that's like the prime time. People spend like $4 or $5 million in a commercial. That's just ridiculous nowadays.
Yeah, dude, $7 million for 30 seconds in the Super
Wow,
Bowl.
really? Is that during the
Yeah,
halftime or just regular?
just regular. That's just regular.
Jesus Christ, I was yeah.
Yeah, 7 million. So the reason why I brought it up is because I was looking. I saw a couple commercials that caught my eye, and it was from Homes.com.
Oh yeah,
I'm not. Yeah, have you kind of heard about this company a little bit?
they dropped a lot of money.
Exactly. Yeah. So their CEO is basically the same CEO of CoStar, which is like a big commercial listing website. But I saw that they dropped like $30 billion in ad spend. 30 billion. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to compete with Zillow. So super interesting stuff. This is all kind of new and unfolding. But as we all know, Zillow is kind of like this beefy super site for everybody that is kind of going to like a one-stop shop, and they're trying to convert to that, right? They got the real estate agents there. They're trying to add the mortgage business there. So when you're searching for homes, it's like a one-stop shop. But if you look at the show notes on the calendar, it's pretty interesting. But yeah, they're trying to compete with Zillow, and Zillow already has that already built out. But what their aim is that they're trying to connect you directly to the listing agent, who's the one who's selling the property, versus Zillow is like they're hooking you up with an agent, right? But they have like a one stop shop kind of thing going on there. So super interesting to see. Like, any thoughts on that? The impact? I know you deal with a lot of internet leads and people like that as well. Like, how do you feel about all that?
Well, I feel like more and more internet companies, especially after the lawsuits, more and more companies are gaining traction because buyers feel like they are overpaying for their agents. And now I go on Redfin or Zillow and I see more and more offers. And I actually, we had a few listings that received a lot of activities and offers. And I got a chance to talk to some of the buyers at our open house. And I feel like in real estate, whatever you see on the internet, our news are like a couple of weeks ahead of the internet, if you will, because we're there at the open house, we're there at a certain area. We get direct feedback from the people that dropping millions of dollars on buying their homes or first home.
Right.
So you get all these feedback from them. And I share with you that a lot of buyers are using the internet companies. They feel like they're overpaying for the buyer agent. So therefore, they feel like they deserve that credit back from the buyer agent commissions, and therefore they asking for someone that they met probably for the first time on the internet to write them an offer, compete for a property that's getting like 20, 30 offers. And the only way to win is to shoot like above and beyond everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
being a listing agent, I see the offers that are lows, meaning the agent haven't done their homework. The buyers are not, when you read the offers, you can really tell the mindsets of the buyers,
Yeah.
right? So if I have 31 offers and five offers are within the range of the asking price, meaning that these buyers haven't gotten to, like, they probably new to the market. So they haven't really caught up with how hot the market is, right? They're still
Mm-hmm.
denying that process.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got these people that work with very reputable agent, and you look at the agent license number, right? Zero 1, and then 02. 02 usually are brand new in the last 5 years. So they enter the market where the market was just crazy hot, right? So all they know is hot market, high interest rate. They don't know anything about the low interest rate and more inventory type of market. So the more seasoned agents are more well studied. They study the market. They don't submit the offer at the asking price, but they submit the offer based on the comparables that they found in the area. So that more close, right? And then you got these brand new buyers, agents who know very little about their clients and submitting an offer 200-300 grand above all the comps, right?
Yeah.
So obviously it's hard for the seller to turn down that type of offer. And your home value is what the next sold come is, right? So
Mhm.
these now become the new sold comp comparables in that area, thanks to this brand new buyer agent who they met on the internet that blew everyone out by 300,000 range. So very happy for my seller, but I feel like the internet buyer agents are now coming back very strong. Homes.com's coming out, that Zillow, Redfins, all these companies. But if you're watching this and you're a home buyer, I would say yes. If you want to save some money and you want to work with someone that you met on the internet, still have that proper interview. Get to know that agent a little bit better. Test their knowledge, local knowledge a little bit, because you yourself probably have better local knowledge than that individual agent. Ask them if they're local. Ask them if they know that 7-Eleven down the street, and they know if any noise, traffic noise, or on Almaden Express or anything like that. Ask them about those questions. See if they know. Because if they don't know, they don't have the local knowledge, then it's really hard to write an offer that is, I would say, to the comparables. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It
Yeah.
testifies to the comparables.
Everything can be done on the internet these days, even finding comparables. But it's like, you got the one agent who's Google mapping all those comparables and telling you, oh, hey, you're close to the 7-Eleven versus the local expert who knows, like, oh, yeah, there's this one homeless guy that goes to this 7-Eleven all the time. You have to watch out for him, right? So it's like, what are you really wanting? Because if you're going on the internet, they're getting the same information as you too, right? So what is the value you're getting from an agent if the information they're getting to you is all the same information that you get too, right? So I think you're right. It's definitely the negotiation, because you can come in and splash in the pot with this big old offer when you really didn't even have to, right? You could have just inched your way in a couple bets instead of just splashing the pot like some rookie poker player who don't know, and all in, and then you're out of money.
Yeah, so
but
I got an offer accepted for one of my buyers. I think like 2 days ago, and I just want to share some of the things that I've done for my client. Is that there was total of 20 offers, right? And when we then this house is a little bit of a fixer. So my background is in real estate renovation. Really brought a lot of value to the table. I sat down with my client and said, look, the asking price is super low. I mean, like 900,000. Okay, but the comparable in the area supporting move-in ready about 1.7. But this house, since it's a fixer, you're going to compete with a lot of investors,
Mhm.
probably 30% of cash offer, and then some, finance buyer. Very hard for the government type of back loan because since it's a fixer upper, right? But to win this property, I think the value where it is right now is about 1.4. But to really win it, you really have to throw about 1.5 to 1.55 to win this deal, right? I submitted an offer. The result came back. The listing agent said, "Congratulations, you merely 50,000 above the other offer, but the
Oh,
seller
wow.
chose yours." Right? So because of our background understanding, it costs about 100,000 plus in renovation. Adding to the 1.5 that my client got accepted, that's about 1.65. The house worth
Mhm.
about 1.7, 1.8. So the client now get the house that they want, gonna renovate it to their personal preferences and still under market value.
That's quite a deal, because even in this market, when there's a fixer, but there was a higher comp that sold that was remodeled, a lot of times that fixer sells kind of close to that comp already. So there's not even like a margin when you have to renovate. Like, you're already over that comp when you add the renovation cost.
So home buyers don't know this, and a lot of first-time home buyers don't know this. And I think investors and real estate agents that work with investor will not share with you this. Home buyers are more competitive and have a higher chance to win for the fixer upper home. Let me repeat: home buyer have the upper hand when it comes to versus the real estate investor. And I'll tell you why. Here's a few things. One, real estate investor
Hmm.
have to have a margin,
Yeah.
meaning that they have to buy a house 30% below ARV. Uh, some of them a little more riskier in Santa Clara County because they know the house here can sell for a crazy amount of value. So they go maybe 20% ARV above, below ARV. So meaning that they have to make a margin, have a profit. And some of them getting a hard money loan, so they have a carrying cost. So their threshold is it's have to be somewhat tolerable to make sure they can afford it and carry it and then make a profit, right?
Hmm.
And second thing is that you're not competing to make a profit. You're buying it to live. So if you have some down payment and you have some money tucked away for renovations, buying a fixer upper will, number one, get you a good deal. And number two, it's not going to be a good deal where you can make a profit. Don't think of making a profit. Think of long term, because real estate, it's all about long term, right?
Hmm.
And think of it this way: you get the house, and if you work with an agent like myself or Vin, that have renovation background, we can help you through the process, renovate it, hiring licensed contractor, get permits, and fix your house, increase your home value, but also get the house to your personal preferences. It's
Yeah.
like
Totally.
yeah. So the house I'm sitting in right now is a house that we bought through a probate, fixer upper. And I'll give you the numbers. We got it on probate sales for 1.1. People think that, oh, in this market, you're not going to get this type of deal. I bought this house 2 years ago, right?
Hmm.
Got this house for 1.1, put about 400,000 to renovation. The house now worth about 2.9. Okay. That's tremendous increase of value, right?
Yeah. And what was at that time? You got it for 1.1 in probate. Like, what was the market value for it at that time?
At that time, probably about 1.4, 1.5, because the house was in a very difficult situation. So difficult to create opportunities. And this house was
Hmm.
in the probate cells. The two siblings are going against each other at court. And the sister who had the authorizations to sign for this property, she lived out of the state. So, all in that favor, by understanding that background, I submitted an offer right in the middle and allow her to take that to court and fight it to win and sell it to me for at this price. So number one, she doesn't know the local market value, so she actually undersold it. And number two, it was too much of a headache for her to handle because the house was full of tenants, right?
Yeah.
With kind of illegal modification, if you will. And with red tag, meaning that the city had the code violation tag on this property. So for me, with someone in the background, those can be a nightmare for someone. But for me, that's just a walk in the park. I come in, I slowly remove all the, hire an eviction attorney, start removing all the tenants, and then slowly get permits and fix the property. And that's a tremendous of value.
Well, that's why we always say, as investors, the uglier the better, right? When you look at the house, and that's what I try to tell my clients too, because a lot of my clients are mostly buying to own, buying to live in, not investors, and most of them are always picking out like, oh man, it's in a probate. What does that mean? Oh man, the carpet. I don't want to have to redo the carpet. Why did the sellers pick that brown, veiny, like what color in there? Like all red. Why did they put mirrors all over this wall? And I'm like, I always look at it like, yes, yes, I like it, I like it. And they're always like, why, man? It's because everyone else is gonna hate it. And the reason also is because you think that when it's done up and it's beautiful, you think no one's gonna like it. Everyone's gonna like it, so that's where you're gonna pay the most, right? But yeah, there's definitely different strategies to both, right? Because a lot of times people will say, "Hey, at least I'm not putting out that renovation cost. I'm financing that house with the remodel." So that's one way. But where's the balance? Because in this type of market, at least in this area too, it's like you're just gonna continue to bid up and bid up, bid up, and if it's a long term game, why don't you look for that ugly house in that good neighborhood that you were looking for, that you really want? That's really how you're going to get into the deal there.
Yeah, but I understand for the first time home buyers, it's really hard for them to grasp their mind around this because a lot of them don't have the experience and they feel like they don't have the time to go through the process. So it's really important that you work with real estate agents that has the background that can help and guide you through that process. And get more than one bid. If you don't know for sure what's the market rate for a renovation project, then get more bids. You know what I mean? Get more bids so you can have a full understand. what's the cost for you to renovate the property. And I'm very confident to say that there's nothing wrong with a house you can't fix. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So, there's nothing wrong with real estate that the price can fix. That is the slogan, right?
Mhm.
So, buying home that the fixer upper in this market and competing with real estate flippers, you have an upper hand if you are a buying for owner occupancy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it goes back to what you said, right? If it's a long term thing, you will have to deal with some sacrifices, and you have to be the judge of where you're going to sacrifice that, right? But if you are getting into this game and you have that expectation already, knowing that, hey, you know what, I'm gonna need to look for a smaller home and try to add square footage to that. I'm gonna need to look for an older home to try to remodel, so I can get my foot through the door. The faster you're able to realize that, the easier and more I don't know, more aptitude you get, more faster learning in this game, right? But it all kind of relates to, and going back, because it goes to the convenience factor, right? We're talking about with these websites with Zillow and going straight to the listing agent, not doing their homework. It's all about convenience. So I'm wondering, I want to get your take, because even with the Apple Vision Pros, have you got a chance to try these Apple Vision Pros?
Not yet.
Dude, me neither. But it looks super interesting with all the apps that's going to be in this ecosystem, including a Zillow app in this Apple Vision Pro. So all to just continue that convenience factor. And I don't know. I want to get your take on. Do you think that we're going to go all the way convenient factor, where most buyers and sellers are going to trend towards just going online, finding the easiest way out, and not having to do the research? Or will, more boutique, more savvy, more Navy SEALs type of companies and real estate agents are going to start to shine because of these convenience factor companies, or the style is going to not get them what they want? Like, what do you think we're going to trend towards?
I think technology is going to continue to advance. The AI going to continue to provide abundance of information for a buyer agent, or I mean, sorry, the AI is going to continue to provide abundant information for the buyers who are searching for information online. And I feel like what I say earlier, it's really hard to replace the physical, the brick and mortar real estate office and a real estate agent when someone is understand the local market really well, because real estate is super hyper local.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one block down the street can be a different dynamic, right? There's a certain street in the neighborhood that you feel that's going to continue to increase in value because there's none like that. And the neighborhood is the one that create values, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who understand neighborhoods better? I mean, local real estate agent that's door knocking, or holding open house, passing out a flyer, talking to the seller. These are the people that still AI cannot replace,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it just depends on what you're looking for. I use AI too for my businesses now. I use AI to do research for me because it saved me time go on Google and try to, if I needed to write something that talks about something, I don't have to go into 5 different search engine to arrive at a certain answer where I can have AI do that for me at a split of a second.
Dude, I'm doing the same thing. I've realized that I'm starting to use ChatGPT more than I use Google. Like, I'm like, oh, how do I do this? Or what's the recipe for this? And then ChatGPT is, you're right, because I'm looking at a few different links, which is great sometimes, but then sometimes I just want straight, give it to me straight, right? And ChatGPT is great for that.
Yep. So I think technology can, if you use technology
Yeah,
correctly, it improves value.
yeah.
People complain about kids being on the phone during the holidays, and I've seen it both ways, right? I've seen kids on the phone on the social media, TikTok during the family dinner, and it's annoyed the heck out of me. And I see kids or parents on the phone FaceTiming one another. So really, technology is it can bring people together and closer too, right? So, 10 years ago, I couldn't have a FaceTime with my family in Vietnam during the holidays. I mean, you have to buy one of those collect cards and scratch it out and make the phone calls. Nowadays, just a click of a button, you bring everyone closer, right?
Yeah.
Technology does improve lives. It's just how you utilize it. And same thing for any one that watching this and I say, hey, technology can replace real estate agent. And I can argue with you all day saying that we continue to grow and build ourselves and our brand and our exposure in the local market area where we gain trust. And people bring us information. You asked me earlier, where do I find some of these deals during this time of huge shortage of inventory? And I tell you, we have seller pick up the phone and call us because they know that we work and active in that area. Okay,
Yeah.
and then at the end of the day, my exposure, my hard work in that neighborhood bring values to my client. I find off market deals and I go to my client and say, look, I have something that's coming on the market that I'm working on right now. The seller don't mind preemptive offer. So if you want to look at it into something you like, feel free to shoot an offer. And it doesn't hurt to give the other person the opportunity to say no, right? So that AI or Google cannot replace.
No, it can't replace, but it can make it better, right? Like you're saying, empower. I mean, imagine walking down the street, you get wind of an off market deal, and you're taking videos of it right away, and then you send it to your client who's wearing the Apple Vision Pro goggles, and they're already at the house. You don't gotta make an appointment. Like.
If someone walking up to me or my kid wearing a Vision Pro and talking to me, I'll probably slap him silly. Or
Bro, hey,
like, it's like I don't like it when my kids, looking at the phone when I'm talking to them.
yeah.
And now imagine that's freaking things on their face. Right? So
Watch out! It might happen soon, dude. I'm imagining all these things because I was just watching the videos of it, and it looks. I mean, watching a movie, it looks so immersive because Apple has a deal with like Pixar too, so everything's in 3D. And then you're looking at the movie, and it's so immersive. And then you turn around and okay, let me pull up the YouTube real quick over here. Oh, my agent just sent me the video of this house. Let me just take a look at this over here, and then let's make it bigger. And like, I'm like,
I can already see
okay,
you in it.
yeah,
So if it
yeah,
doesn't fit
but
your life, then do it. I've seen guys driving the car with it's very futuristic, but again, that's something that I feel I'm probably not going to be, putting my hand on it anytime soon.
yeah, yeah. Well, all that to say that I don't think there's so many avenues to help people generate wanting to buy a house these days, the internet and all that, that it doesn't look like to me housing is going to slow down, right, anytime soon. Like we always have all these people who are always waiting for that crash, and I would ask you because I'm working with a few clients right now that are like, well, hey, if interest rates are always going down, then why don't we wait, right? Because they have this kind of feeling that, oh, you know what? At some point, I do want to buy a house, but at some point, there's gonna not be as much competition as there is. And I don't know about you, Evan. I know you've been doing this a lot more than I have, but I've only been doing this since 2012, and every year since 2012, we've always had an inventory problem. We've always had a multiple offer situation problem. We've always had prices continue to go up. So I don't know. Well, what's your take?
Well, here's some homework for the people that actually watch this episode all the way to the end. I think this might be some of your golden nuggets right here. If you are creating excuses for yourself not to buy real estate because of lack of inventory, because of high interest rate, because the rent is so attractive, then you should use whatever search engine that you're using and do research on historical data of where real estate has been 30 years ago from now, before, and look at the inventory and track some of those houses. Use the Zillow, Redfin, I don't care, and find out when that home is sold, and imagine if that's your money 30 years ago. Okay. And put in a rent versus buy calculation and do some really study. And one thing that I challenge my high tech doctors, nurses, these people that are renting, okay? And I say, please, I know your life is busy. Spend 1 hour of your time sitting down with a CPA or financial advisor, plug in all your numbers. These people, do you know that they pay 30 to 40% in tax? The more that they make, the higher tax bracket that they are in. So imagine you buying property and buying rental property, putting in LOC, putting in a trust, writing off some of the expenses because it's a business. And there's a lot of things that you can do. And I'm not here to give you tax advices. I'm here telling you that you're working so hard for your money and you're paying 30, 40% in a tax bracket. please sit down with a CPA or a financial advisor. There's a lot of money that you can save. Maybe you have to drive a Lamborghini to go to work.
Yeah, totally, man. It's you know, I think if you're waiting, you can already see that. Continue to wait because it's never been a good time. The only good time is when you actually did buy it, and then you're the one that held the property. So the sooner that you can get your hands on something, and that's why, with like we were talking about earlier, with the expectations, knowing that it's a tough market, knowing that you have to sacrifice a little bit of your wants and desires for maybe a smaller or crappier house, because it's a long game, right? And if you hold on to it at least a couple of years, 3, 4, 5 years, you can already see in the data that every client I talk to that's bought, like, Vin, I'm so glad I bought at that time. But at that time, they were like, "Oh no," they were crying. They were like, "No, I don't want to buy," or "I'm scared." And now look at you,
I mean, it's
right?
hard. It's hard because it's getting more and more expensive every day,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
cost of living, everything like tip is minimum 18% now, and every time you go out and eat, it costs a lot of money. You go to Costco, $100 get you a half of the basket. So cost of living is getting higher, and I feel like the real estate, and the reason it's called real estate because tangible, and it's your kind of like inflation proof, right? Is your giant piggy bank, and doesn't matter who you are, how much money you make. Look at me. I'm telling you right now, you cannot make money like that forever. I'm going to say it
Yeah,
again. You cannot be young, healthy, and make that kind of money forever. So while you can, put it in the piggy bank, and that piggy bank is your house.
that's right. That's right. Wise words, Evan. Wise words. I mean, I think that's a pretty good episode right there. I mean, what do you think?
No, I think it's solid. Just some of the reminders for the people that are listening to the news too much, watching too much stuff going on the internet, and worry about not buying real estate. And I don't know how many times that I go on my newsletter and I send out and I say, "Guy, here's all the data. We're not crashing.
Hmm.
Okay, we just simply don't have enough inventory, and look at the number of millennials are getting to the mid-range age where they're having more mature family and they're looking to buy their first home. That number is getting higher and higher every year. Okay,
Yeah.
you're getting baby boomer get stuck in the properties that they cannot sell. I mean, where do they go? They bought it for 50,000, now worth 4 million, right?
Hmm.
And where are they going to move to? Their family, their healthcare practitioner, everywhere is nearby. And I mean, what we need now is more like senior home caring type of facility that is enticing enough that doesn't cost like freaking $8,000 to $10,000 a month. You know what I mean? I think
Dude,
that
that's a business idea that I'd love to talk to you more about on this podcast, because I saw a trend about how more seniors are getting outside care instead of family care,
yeah,
and the need for senior care living is getting so crazy high because there's not enough nursing homes, and then there's also the seniors that are healthy enough to not need a care home, but also not great to
it's not
live by themselves.
correct.
All right, so
Correct.
it's like good to have like maybe some roommates or a community around them, and buying up single family homes to make into kind of nursing home businesses.
There's a lot of
um,
business like that already that we haven't covered. Actually, can get a few of my investors who are in that business to be on the podcast to talk more about that. And you rent by the beds and
yeah.
you provide a community that people wanted to come live together and connect and like housemate, if you will.
Yeah,
But people in a similar mindset, old but active.
yeah,
Okay, so that I feel like it's a growing community nowadays, and if we continue to grow that kind of community, then therefore we'll create inventories.
yeah.
Otherwise, older neighborhoods in Silicon Valley are gonna continue to go up because housing are just scarcity. We don't make land in this area anymore.
Totally, totally. I think that's I'm going to enjoy this podcast talking to you about more business ideas like that, and I'm sure the crowd is going to love it too. But I know before we kind of wrap up, I know you had some new guests lined up for our next couple episodes, right?
Yep. So I
Yeah,
got Brian Chan from 50 Hills. He's going to come join our podcast talking about some of the things that he's doing lately. I've been following him, great content. and he's one of the flipper friends that we know that very active out there in the community. So it's really good to kind of get his information and his information from the being foot grounding on the ground, and direct feedbacks on some of the things that he thinks is coming and happening, and maybe talk about some of his flip and in the profit margin on them.
I'm excited to talk to him, man. I mean, I've only met him once, but he seems like a really interesting guy. Very high energy, fast cars, cigars, barbecue, and then flipping houses. So I'm excited to get
Sound like
into.
a real estate lifestyle, but it's not.
Yeah, man. Well, awesome, guys. I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please follow, like, subscribe, drop some questions or comments down below. We love feedback. And yeah, anything else, Evan?
No, that's it. See you at the next episode.
All right, guys, take it easy. Peace.